Yeah. Perfect. Right here in the middle of it. You need to start questioning, to start praying. I don't want to live it this time around. I want to be here with you only. Great. Hi Kingdom family, how have you been? Thank you so much for the support for the past weeks. I see that the words and the power that comes with the word has been touching lives, and people have been messaging me, telling me how much they have been blessed. I should keep it going. In particular, a friend texted me and said one of her favorite videos so far is the one about the 7 things that should discuss before marriage. And she's looking for more, and so I believe that this one will be another one that she will be intrigued about, because it's a topic that has been on me for years, and I'm just getting the time now to share these topics to you. For those who are new subscribers, thank you for subscribing, thank you for giving the love and the share and the likes. I appreciate it. Go ahead and share it to others, help people. The channel is about helping people. You know what we come here, it's all about changing life through effective living. If we live, we can see changes. Now this week, I am excited. I want to talk to you about, talk to the singles. Singles this week, not the married people that know, but the singles. I want to talk to you about some red flags that you must bear in mind. You must look out for. These red flags, they will not fail you. Want to see them waving in the air? You need to start questioning, to start praying. I don't want to live it this time around. I want to be here with you only. So look out for these red flags. They are very important to take note of, because it will help you eliminate some distractors. There are some individuals who come in our lives who say they like us and they want to marry us, but truth be told, they are in it for the wrong reasons. And so you as a person will be selecting or choosing and wanting a life of a difference. You need to be careful. Many individuals wish they had this knowledge before they would have gotten married or made some serious commitments. But like some, we are too embarrassed to share them. However, I am adamant that you must share them this time around, because I want your marriage to prosper. I want your relationship to prosper. That's the reason why I'm taking the time out to talk to you, to share some of these red flags with you. The first one is never call pity love. I recall my brother shared with me some years ago when we were just talking about relationship, and he shared this with me. He never worded it in this particular way, but it's from what he said that really pulled me from then onwards to think about pity. That pity is really not love. And so never you pity someone in a relationship when you're in a for marriage. And what do I really mean by pity the person? You know, when you're talking to some people, dating them for example, and they share their life, their childhood experience, how they would have been maybe molested, stressed, they were financially restricted, they were poor, they never had an education, but something about them that's nice, and you think that you're really in love, or rather you choose to love them, but rather than enjoying them and enjoying the relationship and growing with them, you tend to feel though as if it's a pressure. You feel burdened, you feel frustrated, because you're always concerned. They're always sharing about their hurt and their past experiences, and you feel this pity for them. So we call it sorry for. You feel sorry for them, and so you think that you must be in their life to save them from all this calamity, as if it's your responsibility. What can I tell you? Feeling sorry for an individual is not love. And you're going to make a big mistake if you were to continue. Relationship is something that should be productive. It's a partnership. You can't feel sorry for somebody. You're not running a daycare. It's not no charity you're running. It's a relationship. And so you need that person to be at the best, place and the best version of themselves at that point in time where you can make a conscious decision. So don't you call pity love. That's a red flag. get counseling, get advice, but I don't advise you to continue into that relationship without dealing with that problem or that issue. Never marry someone to save them, because marriage will expose you both. Marriage is not a shelter that protects you from the rain, the storm, and the wind. No. Marriage is a big decision that you will make. And so therefore you need someone to be at a level headspace, someone who is conscious about themselves. And so you can't marry someone to save them or to be saved. Many of us have some insecurities, some problems we have been struggling with all over years, and so we think by getting married it will fix it. Some people struggle with masturbation, infidelity, having sex, being Christian, having sex out of marriage, and then you feel as though you must get married to this person because you have been with them so long and you feel guilty spiritually. I know many young Christians struggle with these concerns, and so you feel like marriage will save you. Many of you are going through some rough time in your life, going to school and not having enough money, and this person shows up like some Shakespeare and they want to save you. It's a red flag. I'm not saying that people can't come to help you in marriage. Don't get me. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, don't marry to try to save the person because you want to be giving your best. It's an equal contribution in marriage. And so you have to be careful of this. And this is where a number of women, especially women, find themselves in this issue, and even men too. But men, they want a breakthrough, a bus. They want to marry a whitey or a brownie or a darkie or you name it, but they want a bus, and so they want this person help them get a green card and fly out. And when they hear little bit after a year about them, they're divorced or might have worked out because they wanted to be saved. And maybe the girl wanted to save him or the man wanted to save her. And these are some challenges. Even in college, this is popular with people who are in college. You are studying and this person comes and you're struggling to study, and this person comes with a car and they are working. And so you start to give yourself in the relationship. And then because you really wanted to be saved, your mother and father, they weren't supporting you financially. You never had much security financially. So this young man came and helping you out. And this is the first point where we talk about pity. The young man somewhat pity you, or they use you, or vice versa. The young lady use him. And so don't you marry someone to be saved. You don't want to be saved. It's a partnership and you have to enter it consciously. Marriage will expose you if you are a lazy person, you are a nasty person, a selfish person, an ingenuous person, an unkind person, and you are marrying someone thinking that these issues will not show up. That's why most times these marriages they end so miserably, because they were trying to hide some things about each other, and when they recognize later on, when they meet and start to discuss these things with each other, it just blaze up like some bamboo fire. People laugh at them, and so in other words, the embarrassment is even greater because you're trying to hide something or you're trying to be saved by somebody. Don't you make those mistakes. You need to address yourself. Look into yourself. Remember, marriage is a partnership. And I want to start for business, and I want to see a bit, and I want bank and an Nova Scotia NCB, so you save some money. It's not going to save you. It will only expose what is it that you would have been hiding or what you would not have addressed about yourself for years. Don't get married. So if someone comes to you with some issues and they're trying to hide, you see some local person to coming out and them being nasty and something, in other words, some things you just can't live with because you should know yourself. I'm not saying you can live with things, but believe me, when you get into the partnership, sometimes you can't bother for you. Like one child you agrees, you try to break out on a habit. You need somebody who is conscious, and when you point something out to them, granted we can't break habits easily. Habits are not easily broken. But what I'm trying to get to is that you don't want to be in a daycare. You can't be trying to assist a big man learning how to tidy a room or spread a bed or to flush the toilet, and these grown man, grown woman, this you don't want to be doing in marriage. We all will come with our little rough edges. Please get me correct. We're not perfect, we come with your rough edges, but what I'm trying to say, you need someone conscious enough about themselves and humble enough to listen, that when you talk with them, you can have good, meaningful discussions that will help you move further with the relationship, rather than them being a baggage or a stumbling block. Never marry a lazy person. Why? Especially a man. Why? Marriage, in my one word to describe marriage, responsibility, which is adulthood. basically. If someone is lazy, it's a big red flag. You're going to have some serious issues in the relationship. No going around it. Especially the man not feel lazy. No, straight. He's naturally wired the provider for the family. We know roles have switched and since the millennium period where women sometimes work more money than men and they're in better jobs, and we know things have shifted based on from the past, but it still doesn't take away from a man, being the man who goes there and hunt, the man who stays up and so forth. Even though she's earning more than you, you're still working. So if a man is lazy and him just come with pretty looks, or him just come with a little money for the first part and sweet words, which we all have, that, no fault for that from no man. I tell any young girl, men are naturally wired to speak some things they can't even commit to. That's what we do, and that's what women fall for it every time, because that's how you're wired. You just feel nice and just so sweet, but truth is anything sweeter on your teeth. You have to take care of your tooth. So what I'm basically saying to you, it's important you don't fall for these words. Don't fall for men who are lazy. A man must come, even if he's not working. You see a track record of his life. When you talk to him and you meet his peers, if you go that far, his brother or sisters or whomever is affiliated with him, they will tell you, I'm at work. In fact, I think I said it to my wife some time ago, if we were to apply the principle that we learned from the secular world, which is before you apply for a job, you send in your resume so they can meet you before they meet you physically. Because a resume gives a synopsis of your experiences and your track record of what you profess that you have or your qualification. If many people were able to give, or if we were to apply that principle to relationship, to ask a young man or a young woman, give me a resume, tell me what you have been doing for the past 10 years, 6 years, and get some proof. You recognize, you know I'm go down the lane there with them. Their track record is messy. But people don't ask these questions. They don't ask what you did, what were you doing in 2012, Nothing. But them coming on nice shoes, dress up really nice, and then coming to one car. You don't know what they got the car, who bought the car for them. You don't want these things. Big red flag. Don't marry the lazy man, and on the other side, no marry the one lazy woman. Because traditionally the man is supposed to be at home. No, sorry. Traditionally, the man is supposed to earn, but things, I would say swap. Sometimes the woman is out working, the man has to be at home for some time to raise a child or whatever. But it can't be for 10 years. 6 years a man there, I watch the baby nappy and clothes and things. I not say can't, because if that's your plan for your marriage, I'm not here to tell you how you should do it. I'm only saying to you, traditionally, how we are wired, these things will affect you in the long run. So you want to marry the man who understands what he's naturally wired to do. And vice versa, a man wants to come into a clean house, I must commend my wife for that. Phenomenal wife as it relates to that. Clean home, tidy place, smelling good. She stressed me sometimes for buy some expensive I call it expensive. Man love spend money sometimes. Woman come with some long list of detergent and what they want, but she likes that, and I love the end result. I don't like to spend the money sometimes, that's the truth, but I love the end result. So it encourages me every time she comes. Place smells good. So the woman, if you do her job, can't marry a lazy woman, can't marry a lazy woman. Straight. Never married someone with little or no value or moral system. When we talk about morality and value system, these are natural imprint in our DNA as a human being. We like to be respected. We like persons who have some level of trust. You can trust them. Cheating, the idea of infidelity, you want to judge, you want to see where they stand as it relates to infidelity. You want to also find out how fair they are, because in a relationship, if you want to butt into marriage, you want to ensure when you have a difficult time at work or an issue or concern with your mother or your in-law, whatever the case, but whatever the situation may be, you want to know you can run the idea by your partner and they can give you a level-headed response. There's no bias. I'm not frightened for things to go on. They can level say, honey, that was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. You need to really find a way to apologize or something. They can't have somebody who would have a moral system. They can't be trusted. And you see these red flags. You see them not being committed and they're telling you lies. You were to meet up and they told you something happened. Things happen, right? Human being, another time it's the same thing, one of the excuse. How them one good so? Why they can never tell you what really happens? But because you just like the fact that it works, that you have a car, you continue in the relationship because you want to be safe, as we spoke about earlier. Don't do that. You need somebody who you can trust their feelings. They are confidential. You can share it with them and they keep it, because we have our dark secrets, so-called dark secrets, our issues, and you want to know when you share this thing with your spouse, you don't hear it back from his sister or his brother. These are confidential things which you never share anybody, but you find someone you can trust and you share it. You want to ensure that they are able to be a confidant. So you need a person that value system. Forgiving. They're not somebody who hold grudges and say, no, talk back to the girl, no, talk back to the man, no, talk back to your mother. Somebody will say, no honey, forgive. These are moralities, these are value systems, and if you can't find some amount of value system in that individual, that's a big red flag. Because remember, you're marrying a person, not a profession. So when you get into the relationship, when issues arise, you want that person to be able to be there. You want them to be able to connect with their moral compass and their value system. You want to depend on their value system to help you when you are weak. That's very important. Marry someone who is willing to listen and acquire knowledge and not necessarily education. Friends, let me tell you this. Education doesn't save a relationship. You have some people with their doctoral level of education, masters, several degrees, and their marriages are wrecked. No one, they are married like 3-4 times. They're not even married. Their moral system is so bad that no one, they can't stay in the body, and they're educated. Many people get trapped in this, especially in this modern era where we want someone who's so-called educated with degrees and so forth. It is good to have, don't get me wrong, but the point I'm getting across is education can save a relationship. What saves you is knowledge, that person being humble enough to listen to you, because marriage is a broken place, a place where you are something that you think that you have lack. Listening is not fully proven until behaviors change. So when you change your behavior, it would have suggested that you were listening. So many of us, your spouse would have been talking to us about something, and you don't see any change in behavior. Nothing changes, and you have been talking, and you wonder why they're not listening. They're not listening. They are hearing you because they have the sense to hear, but they're unable to listen because they have not humbled themselves to be taught to listen, which is a very humble place that every human being should find. But many of us can't find that place to humble to listen. And guarantee you, if you're heading for marriage, you better learn to listen. You better learn to listen to what your spouse have to say. Because most time when you're caught up for women in their emotions, of course men are emotional too, don't get me wrong either. And when us as men are caught up in our egos and we know everything, as some man, we know everything, have an answer for everything. You better learn for both parties, a woman and a man needs to understand those two big issues in marriage and learn how to listen. Because you don't know it all. The strengths that you call strengths, when you get into marriage, you find out that your partner always understand that I can't live with this. You need to work on this. If people are honest in relationships and married couples, they will tell you that from being with my spouse, I've learned to be this and not that. My wife has helped me in a number of things as it relates to certain things about my personality. So you find out that my education couldn't really save me. It's my willingness to acquire knowledge, and because knowledge is just basically you willing to listen to someone from their experience or from that level of emotion and a place where they wanted to grow. And so a person being educated without knowledge is a very, very arrogant person. They need knowledge. And a person with education and knowledge, which is to know, without wisdom, which is God, you're going to be another big issue, because you can be so educated, so lettered with credentials, and then you're so knowledgeable, you know everything, you have an answer for everything, but yet still nobody can live with you because no one knows everything. And so that is why you need the wisdom of God. You need to be able to listen. So I am encouraging you to look out for these red flags, be conscious about them, don't take them for granted, and I guarantee you that you will see some strides, you will see some fruits. If you look at these things and more, because there are always more things to look at. If you look at these, I guarantee you that you have a promising future. That's guaranteed because the marriages work, but at least these are some common red flags that people overlook before they make a commitment. And then upon making the commitment, they are sorry they would have met that person. But they'd have seen those red flags, but they never take note of it. So stay tuned. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. If there's one that I've overlooked, because there's so much more. Comment on them, share them, and let me look into it and also do another video if possible. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing this great knowledge with others. You are adding to the kingdom of God. You have a place in the kingdom of God by sharing, by loving, by taking this and spreading it all over. Thank you very much. See you again very soon. Sometimes I like the structure. No matter, but better run it. We do organize and more. But we just say sometimes I don't want to be too organized as if you just speak it. So if you say good. Yeah.